Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everybody.
Thankful Thursday and fun with Amabile and Nancy. Good morning, Amabile.
Good morning.
Let's see. So, as I wrote in the description of the class today, I really am thankful for movement. And this morning I did a movement with Qigong, something called Zen Qigong, and it's all about relaxing in the movement and to bringing unconditional love and joy into our practice, into our movement. So I thought I'd start the class a little bit differently today as we transition from whatever we're doing this morning to our yoga practice by just sitting really comfortably, finding a comfortable place. And even if you don't feel comfortable sitting down, you can sitting down on the floor, you can always sit in a chair and do some of these movements. And so let's just gently sway from side to side, letting our shoulders be loose and relaxed, letting the movement be loose, feeling ourselves rock back and forth on our sitting bones. Maybe even bringing some arms into it and just waving our arms back and forth. Easy does it. Almost like we're flying. And then slowly come on back to your hands on your lap, your knees, or whatever. And then we'll just turn to one side, slow and easy, and turn to the other, just making your lip movements so fluid and peaceful. And with every movement, feel the love that you have in your heart for yourself. The other day I was on one of our virtual meetings that we're having these days, and one of the questions that was asked is, what is the beauty inside of you that you have not seen before? I bet each and every one of us has something really beautiful inside of us that we don't even acknowledge. And so now come on back to facing forward. And if your legs are crossed, go ahead and change the cross of your legs. And we'll fluidly move back and forth, doing our sitting cat-cows. So let's see, we'll exhale, come fluidly forward like a wave. Inhale. Wait a second. Yeah, inhale back. Exhale forward. And bring as much movement into it as feels comfortable for you. Inhaling and exhaling. And then let's, again, just go back and forth. And actually, so we've brought a few movements into the space that we've created this morning. So go ahead and just feel anything, move in any way that feels right for you. Maybe you want to move back and forth. Maybe you want to twist just for the next minute or so. Just move, just maybe even close your eyes down and see if you can tune into your body and see the way your body would like to move. See, with the intention of bringing a relaxed quality into the movement, of just almost a letting go, ease. Amabile reminds me that it's about consistency and not necessarily intensity, right? So we just want to move throughout our day. And maybe in a more relaxed way than we usually do.
Right, and so what that means is, right, maybe it's hard to fit in an hour-long workout. But what if you separated it into 5 parts and you did 20 minutes in the morning, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Then you've done an hour during the day. So consistency over intensity, right? Intense amount of time or intense amount of workout. As long as you're getting up and moving every day, you're doing right by yourself. Not just every day, almost every hour, every couple hours.
And that's actually one of the joys of this of this online learning. So say you're taking a class and you're about 20 minutes into it, and you went, I think I'm going to take a break. So you can take a break and maybe come back and join it in 5 or 10 minutes or an hour later or whatever. It's really, nobody necessarily knows. I guess it depends on the kind of class you're taking. If it's a Zoom class, maybe not so much. But anyway, okay, so come back and rock back and forth now on your sitting bones. Let's bring our legs out straight and just, like I said, rock back and forth on your sitting bones. And then from here, we'll just bend one knee. And so, Mavile, you can show, I'm going to do this little twist with my legs like this, but you can show the deeper pose perhaps. Yeah, and maybe even bending your knee. That looks great. So you bring your opposite arm out, keep those shoulders relaxed, wrap it on around your shin, and then before you bring your arm behind you, inhale, lift on up, and then bring the arm either up over your head and behind you or just right behind you. And just feel this lovely twist. And you can actually perhaps feel it from your hips first, moving into your hips, and then so feel the pelvis move, and then the rib cage on the next breath, and then on the next breath feel the upper body, the chest move, and the shoulders move back, and then your head and your eyes. One of the things that I feel when I breathe deeply is I actually feel my belly against my thigh. And I think that's kind of fun. So now bring your head back to center, but keep your body in the same position. And then just keep turning your head to the other side, to the other shoulder, but just release your head all the way. Wonderful. And then let it all go. Maybe move around a little bit. And just pause for a moment to neutralize your body and feel what's going on. Does it feel different on one side and the other? Maybe yes, maybe no. And then we'll bend the other knee. And again, a modulated show. A little bit more pretzel-y pose. And bring your arm out. Opposite arm out, wrap it around that knee, and before you turn, inhale, lift up, and this time we're going to consciously turn first from our hips. So feel that pelvis move back, and maybe even bring the pelvis back so it's a little bit on a diagonal, and then inhale up, and exhale, turn at your rib cage, and then inhale up and turn at your upper body. And you can flex the straight leg. Then bring your hand behind you and press it into the mat, into the floor, into the earth, and feel how that helps you lengthen your body, perhaps. Then we'll turn our head over our shoulder as far as it's comfortable to do, and just continue to breathe, feeling that beautiful twist, and you can inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist a little deeper. And then on the end of the next exhale, start turning your head back to center and on over to the other shoulder. Just releasing the neck a bit. There. Beautiful. And then release it all down and come on back to center and shake it on out. Now, let's see here. So let's bend one knee again and just move the hip around a little bit.
Rock your little baby shin.
And then just bring your ankle over your head. Can you do that? Are you kidding me? Almost.
Not fully warmed up yet today.
Have you done it before?
Yeah, I can do it. Your body just really needs to be warmed up for these types of things. You guys do not do them at home. They don't make you a better or a worse person. They don't do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
flexibility really sometimes is a hindrance because it means you need more strength. So, you know, the grass is only greener where you water it.
There you go. So just loosen up that hip. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. I think we did this the other day, didn't we?
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday, okay. And just loosen up this hip. And you can bring your little baby into your arms to cuddle it.
Hug your sweet little shin in.
There we go. And then come on back. And let's, you know what I'd love to do today, and you might need a blanket under your knees. I do. So I'm going to open up my blanket a little bit and put it under my, come on, onto my knees, just onto my knees first. Cutting it up nice.
If you have a mat at home and you can't grab a blanket, although the blanket is probably the most easy thing to replace, right? Beach towel or whatever.
Even
but you can also fold your mat over.
You keep mentioning
Yeah,
that.
look, so little fold mat over. Anyways, just throwing some tools in your toolbox there.
There you go. Okay, so I'm gonna I'm changing what I was gonna do in my mind for just a second. We're gonna come back to it. So we'll come on to all fours. So bring your wrists slightly in front of your shoulders, unless it feels fine for you to bring them right under your shoulders. And let's just go ahead and stimulate those upper
percussion.
little percussion. Stimulate those upper feet, the tops of your feet. Thank you. Before we do this, and then we'll just do some simple cat-cows by inhaling, bringing our belly to the ground, and that movement. Let that lift the head. And then exhale, round the back up, and that movement will move the head again, bringing it down towards the earth. So inhale, come on up, and exhale, round. Inhale, come on up, and exhale, come on down. Okay, so now extend one leg out. Okay, and curl the toe under instead of lifting it. Now engage all those core muscles, and if you remember, the core muscles are not just the abs, they're also the glutes and the pelvic floor. So engage all those core muscles and see if you can lift your opposite knee up a little bit. So your foot will stay, your extended leg foot will stay on the ground, and your opposite knee will lift up. Wonderful, and come on back. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So extend that leg, engage all those core muscles, and lift the knee up. Beautiful. And come on down. Okay, so now from here we'll come on up to our knees. And so we'll extend one leg out and just slide our hand down that leg and bring the other arm over our head and pull back on the shoulder, getting a lovely stretch along that side of your body. Now what I'd love for you to do is to really stretch into it and then just exhale and release it and stay in the stretch with no effort, with minimal effort. There's going to be a little effort, but not minimal effort. And just breathe. Beautiful. Okay, so now slowly we'll come on over to the other side, and as you do so, turn your foot forward. So we'll come on and put our hand under our shoulder, or with the wrist maybe slightly in front of the shoulder. And then just lift up this leg. And you can bring this arm up over your head, and maybe over your head. I mean up towards the sky first, and then over your head next. Flex that foot of the lifted leg, and come on down. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Okay, now press the foot into the mat and see and engage those belly muscles and see if you can just lift that knee up like we just did. The lower knee, the knee on the ground. Lift it up, and then maybe you need to bring it back down to the mat and just lift up that leg again.
Or try lifting up the leg while your knee is lifted.
So balance on one arm.
Yes.
Yes, okay, very easy. Okay, and then maybe maybe you can lift up that knee and bring both feet together. And maybe, you know, like I said, if that's not too much of a challenge, you can just lift up the leg. So just go where it's comfortable for you today. Maybe tomorrow it'll be different. Vashisthasana. I think I'd love to do this pose because I'd love to say the name. And then we'll come on back to our knees. And just maybe just swing out, loosen up the back. And as most of you know, when we do something to one side in yoga, well, probably most fitness classes, we do it to the other side. So let's come on back over. Oh, wait, whoops, we start with this leg out first. So we'll start with the other leg out with the toe pointing away from us and just slide down and really open up this whole side body. And breathe into the rib cage. Stretch it all out. Feel if you contract this, the contracted side, if you bring a little more contraction into that, you might feel more length in the longer side. Squeeze, squeeze, there you go. And then come on back, turn your foot forward, bring your hand down. And again, I like to have my wrist slightly in front of my shoulder here. So we'll first start by just lifting up the leg there, maybe bringing the arm up straight to the sky or over our head. Or actually, I'm going to have to do something on the other side again because I'm just thinking of something. You know what you could do to stretch out the quadricep is bend that knee and grab hold of the heel. And you know, if you can't grab hold of the heel, that's fine. Just keep pulling the quadricep behind you, and you can even have the leg, the toe touching the floor. And you get a nice quadricep stretch, no matter what. And then bring it down. And so, again, now engaging all of those core muscles, pressing the straight leg foot very much into the earth. Lift up that knee if you can. Maybe you can't. If you can't, just lift up the leg again, or just try to lift up the knee, and then eventually you'll be able to, and then maybe you can bring both legs together. And again, there are lots of options here. You know, to keep the knee on the ground, arms straight over the head, maybe or wrapped around the back, or up to the sky. And then we'll come on back. And because we stretched out the quadricep on this side, we're going to have to go back. Sometimes I do that in my classes.
Why not? Your sides might fight later if they're not taken care of equally.
I know, we have to do both.
Or you could be walking around in circles. So over this side.
Okay, over this side. So let's see. So
just this.
With this?
Yeah, so just lift the right knee or the other leg off and bring your heel back behind.
Like this.
Whee! Open your heart.
Or you can just
share your heart beings.
Or you can pull this leg back if you need the balance. You need to put your foot on the floor. Always honor your own body, right? What's going on? And then we'll come on back. Okay.
All right.
Back
no walking in circles later.
Why?
It's just a joke.
It's just a joke. Anyway, yeah. I can be a little dense sometimes. You know?
So if one side is tighter and the other side is not as tight, it's just a joke.
I got it.
Yeah. So if you don't get the one side, you might walk around in circles because the other side is stronger and more stretched out.
I told you it takes some time with me sometimes. So let's come to standing and continue that. I just love doing this.
We could do a whole hour of this.
I know, and
And it would probably be really good.
just loosening up the body, feeling, bringing that joy into your body. All righty. So we'll come on up to the front of our mats. And bring our hands into prayer pose. Now press your feet into the mat. And you know, Kali, I just learned something yesterday that some people consider that the ankles are almost the heart of the lower body, because when we engage the ankle, it's the calf muscles that are, because when we engage the calf muscles, we're helping to pump all of pump the blood back on up to the heart, because obviously it's the furthest away from the heart, this area of our body. So, and one way to really engage the calf muscles is to lift up your toes. And really lift up those toes and hold them up.
Fan them out.
And fan them out.
Lift them up,
Absolutely.
fan them out.
Thank you.
The other day, remember I taught you that you can use your fingers to fan your toes out?
Right. Well, actually, what you were also saying is that if you put like your thumbs down, it's easier for you to put your big toes down.
A silly body nuance, anywho.
It doesn't, to be honest with you, it doesn't work with me so much, but it does, it works with my big toes, but not so much anyway. You all are very sweet. So now, so Tadasana, so just press those feet into the earth and just feel your body be nice and erect, with the ears coming over the shoulders, over the ribs, hips, and heels. And bring the hands into prayer pose and inhale out and up. Reaching for the sky, how beautiful the sky is. And then let's take a swan dive. Swan dive all the way down. And then inhale halfway. Feel that flat back. So let's play with this a little bit. So see if you can bring your hips over your heels a little bit more, and you'll feel it more in the back of your legs perhaps. Keep your chin tucked into your chest. And just feel feel a connection between the tailbone and the crown of your head. And then exhale, deepen the fold, and first try to keep your legs as straight as you can. If there's a slight bend in your legs, that's fine. And then either bend your knees very much and keep your legs straight and roll on up. Hands up and over your head and down. Okay, inhale out and up. And this time we'll bow down. Bow forward, going into a forward fold by bowing, keeping your chin tucked into your chest, and then inhale halfway and exhale, deepen. And this time, bend your knees very much, let your belly rest on your thigh, grab hold of your elbows, keep your chin tucked into your chest as you roll slowly up. And you know what, you can bring a little swaying action into this, maybe loosening up your back a little. Oh my goodness. Some reason I really needed that. And then inhale out and up. Exhale, swan dive or bow, whichever feels best for you. Okay, keep your hips over your heels and then inhale halfway. Exhale, deepen the fold. Bend your knees and step straight back with your left foot. And now what we'll do is we'll turn everything right, so our hands are in the center of our body and our feet are facing forward. And then just release everything down. Press your heels into the mat. Press your heels into the mat. And just let your upper body be really, really loose. Nice. Bring your hands on up to your hips and slowly come on up. You can round your back or keep it straight, whatever feels best for you. Beautiful. And then let's turn our back foot. Let's turn our left foot. I'm going to just say left, and I'm going to do left because I don't know what ends up showing up on the film. So turn your left foot in and your right foot out, and just wiggle your hips back and forth a little bit. So you just feel some lovely movement in your hips. And smile, you beautiful people. Smile. Remember joy. Joy. And feel your heart open. Let your arms come out, shoulders relax. Turn the palms up first, up towards the sky, and then turn them down. Now, lift up your back, your left hip. Pull your right hip in, reach towards the right, and come on down into Trikonasana. Now look down at the earth. Check your foot, perhaps, and then look straight ahead. And just breathe into this. Now, if you want to look up to your hands, some teachers are not recommending it these days, but if you want to look up to your hand, your upper hand there, just do so very, very carefully as you turn your neck.
And if you'd like a little extra, raise your right hand and flip the palm up to the sky.
Oh, like that.
Horizontally.
There you go.
To the earth.
And breathe here.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Now raise your right hand and feel as if somebody is lifting up your left wrist from your left wrist, and come on down. Put your hands on your hips and hop your back foot out towards the outer edge of your mat there, and turn both of your hips forward. So you turn your left hip forward and your right hip back, so they're pretty much in line with each other. And then inhale, lift on up, folding at the groin with a slight twist. So you're going to bring your sternum towards your inner thigh, come on over that front foot. And then you can let your hands just slide down it, bring your chin into your chest, and breathe here. And then come slowly up, put your hands on your hips, and inhale, slow and easy does it, on up. So that pyramid pose. So the next part of pyramid pose would be to do exactly what we just did, or to bring your hands behind your back. And there's several ways. You can do it reverse namaste.
And you can go up or down.
Up or down. Or knuckles together, or holding on the wrists with the elbows.
Also.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, there's so many variations to everything, and it's a wonderful thing to use props. And as they say, to use something to bring the earth up to our hands. Anyway, okay. So right hip back, left hip forward, and inhale, lift on up, and exhale, keep pulling that left hip forward and the right hip back as you come up and over. And if your hands behind your back that don't feel very comfortable, just let them release down by your leg. Tuck your chin into your chest and keep turning your hips forward. What? Turning, well, it's a good thing I wasn't. So you keep pulling your left hip forward and your right hip back. And then inhale, come on up, slow and easy. Now we're going to do one more variation here. And what I recommend is perhaps you might want to grab hold of a block or a book or something to raise the floor up to you, up to your hand. So I'll demonstrate with a block, and my flexible, beautiful daughter over here will demonstrate without the block. So we'll pull again, left hip forward, right hip back, and we'll come just over like we did originally in the pyramid pose. Come down. Now let your hands come on down to the floor. Let your left hand either be on the inside or outside of your leg, you notice? And your right leg, your left hand be on the inside, outside of your right leg. Put your right hand on your hip and start, I'm going to turn around, and start turning to the right. Turning to the right. And You can bring this arm up over your head in any way that you like, and maybe even wrap it around your back into a revolved triangle. Beautiful. And then look down to the earth. Bring both hands on your hips and come slowly on up. Bending to the front knee and step forward to the front of the mat. And so now, guess what?
Second side.
Second side. Dun-dun-dun. Okay, so right foot back, left foot forward. And so what happens, of course,
will be mirror images.
That's a great idea.
We've been called twins before.
I don't think so.
Twinning. All right. Right foot back, left foot forward.
Okay, pull the right.
We're doing triangle first.
Oh my goodness.
So face your
So
your
actually,
body
you
square.
know what? I'm going to have to go like this.
So left foot forward. I'll take over. It takes two to make a thing go right. Left foot forward. Right toes more or less a 45-degree angle.
How did I do this for so many years without you? I don't know.
And then I'll pass it back to you. We just want to move our hips a little bit side to side.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I did say fun, right?
That's right.
I hope you all are smiling and not going, oh.
You know, lean on me, Mom. Lean on
Okay.
me for triangle pose direction.
And you know what? So I'm coming down,
Lean forward.
coming forward, and I'm looking down at my foot, and it's not straight. So I have the opportunity to straighten it. And I like to do it from my heel, so I'm going to lift up my toes and line my toes with my heel. Ah, beautiful triangle pose. So let's lift up our toes again, spread them out, and place them down. And breathe here. Okay, and we'll muscle into this for a breath. So reach your arm up to the sky, reach your arm down.
Or lift that left arm up again, right? Flipping
Oh,
the
that's
palm up
right.
to the sky. If you did it the first time, if not, no worries, no big deal.
And then pull your muscles, your leg muscles up against the bones, engage your pelvic muscles, and then release and relax into the pose. Ah, bringing that ease. Beautiful triangle pose. Ah, and then hands on the hips. Oh no. As if somebody's grabbing hold of your wrists. Lift on. Ah. Okay, so now I am going to go this way for pyramid. And you, let's see. Okay?
I can go back this way too.
Okay, I think, so left foot forward, thank you. Left foot forward, right foot back, pull your left hip back and your right hip forward. Inhale, so easy pyramid first. Folding over that groin, coming on down. You know, and you could actually even start getting that block close by here, in this one. And just breathe here. Keep adjusting those hips. So one hip comes forward, the back hip forward, the front hip back. And then bring your hands on up to your hips and come on up. And now we know what to do with our hands and our back. So any way that feels comfortable, or of course, you can do it the same way that we just did it. It's totally your choice. Inhale, lift on up, and exhale, come on down. Breathing. And then we'll come up, slow and easy. And now I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to grab hold of the block. Oh no, I think this time I'm going to stay forward. So when I turn towards my beautiful friends. So left hip forward, left hip back, right hip forward. Inhale, just come on over like we did earlier with pyramid, folding at the left groin. Then bring your hand on down to the block, your right hand down to the block. Left hand on your hip and start turning to the left. You can keep your hand there. Press your back heel into the mat. Like I said, you can keep your hand here. You can bring it up over your head, up straight towards the sky, over your head, or behind your back. Whenever
You're doing a little majorette dance over there. Strike a pose.
Strike a pose. Okay, so we'll turn back towards the earth, hands on the hips, and come on up. Bend into that. Actually, don't bend into the front knee. If you have a block, put it off to the side. What I had in mind is to come down over that front foot. We haven't done downward dog yet, so we'll just, from here, go on into downward dog. And you might feel the need to pedal your legs out, bending one knee, pressing the opposite heel into the ground, bending and straightening, and really loosen your neck, loosen your head. Do some yeses and nos with your head to really release all that. Okay, so since we haven't done down dog or plank pose, so let's come on into plank pose, or of course knee plank. So from here, you can come through down, all the way down, either through chaturanga or just come straight down, but try to get your chin and chest to touch first. Bring your hands down by your floating ribs. Press your feet, the tops of your feet and toes into the mat. And you might feel a little lift in your knees there. Press your pubic bone into the mat and lift up gently. Not very far at first. Come on down. And then we'll lift up again, but maybe this time a little higher if it feels right. But it's not necessary. And come on down. One more time, because 3 is a charm. Into a baby cobra or a... Now, come down. Make a little envelope with your hands and rest your forehead on your hands.
A pillow.
Well, I don't know why I call it an envelope. A pillow's probably a nicer description. Rest your forehead on that little pillow you've made with your hands, and then raise up one leg, keeping the knee straight, and then the other, keeping the knee straight, good. And then you can either do one at a time or both together. Nice. And then come on down. Now, lift your head up off of your hands and bring your arms behind you and see if you can just lift them up behind you. So you bring your arms next to your body and lift on up and lift up and then come down, just relax down, maybe just put your chin there because we're not going to stay very long. And then lift up again. Perhaps you can lift your legs and arms at the same time. Beautiful. And then come on down, hands by your floating ribs. Either bend your knees or curl your toes under and push yourself straight on up through plank pose and back into downward dog. And then go ahead into a little child's pose. And stretch it on out. Stretch your arms out. So if you're in child's pose, I like to put, actually I think I'm going to put my blanket under my legs here. Stretching out forward. And then come on up just slightly, and let's do a little twist by putting our right hand under our left arm, all the way under so that we can rest our shoulder and head on the ground, feeling a nice twist. And you know, you can play with the position of your palm, of your right palm. It can face up to the sky or down to the earth, whatever feels best for you. And then come on back to center, stretch both arms out in front of you, and then we'll go ahead and do the other side. So bring the left arm under the right. Nice. And then come on back to center. Curl your toes under, lift on up into downward facing dog. Let's lift up our right leg a lot and look under our right arm.
You can open up that right hip, bending that right knee. Coming on back down, and the other side. Lift it up, lift the left leg up, lift under the left arm, look under the left arm, and come on back. And then, yogi's choice, you can float through a little vinyasa, or just stay in down dog or go back to child's pose. So plank, up dog or cobra, back up through plank, into down dog. So lift up your right leg and bring your right foot forward so that it's by your left hand. And
so you're crossing your shin across your torso. Your right knee is over by the right shoulder, and your left heel comes anywhere in between the left hip and the left shoulder.
And then you look up to the sky. King pigeon, this is called.
Pigeon prep, I've heard it called also.
Oh. And then just come on forward and take about 5 breaths in here. Let this be a relaxing pose. And you can come down, turn over towards your left hip, equalizing your pelvis, letting your pelvis be a little more level there. And if you'd like, you can always put a block under your right hip, perhaps, if your right hip's up too high. To give it a little ease. And just breathe. About 5 breaths. So, I don't know who's counting, but let's take 2 more. And on the end of the next breath, start walking your hands in. And lifting, so walk your hands on in. There you go. And curl your back toe under. And lift on back up into downward facing dog. And lift up your left leg, swing it through. Bring your left heel up by your right hand or your right hip. And you'll notice a big difference between each side, possibly, maybe not. I sure do. I definitely need a block on this side. And then, so king pigeon first. Or you call it pigeon prep, huh?
Doesn't mean.
I know it doesn't. There are a lot of
good.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And I should add, if you happen to have any noise in your knees,
Oh, that's right.
you'll want to come over and just do a
Absolutely.
reclining pigeon. So
Absolutely.
just throwing that out there.
No, I'm glad you did that.
Whatever you do, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, be it work, exercise, anything, make sure it feels good.
And yeah, modify.
Yeah, you're in charge of your happiness and well-being. I know that's a lot to take in right now, but I'm sorry, I just laid a thick one down.
On all of us.
On all of us.
But
you're responsible.
But it's better to be responsible than to have to worry about other people making you responsible.
Mm-hmm.
And then come on down over that leg. Just release it down. Now, come on up, slow and easy. And this time, instead of going into downward dog, we're going to rest on our left hip, pull our legs around, and very slowly rock on back, onto our backs. And Mavile's going to come onto her back. And first, just hug those beautiful knees into your chest and give yourself some love.
Kiss your knees, please. Or blow them a kiss, it's okay. Either way, just send your knees some love.
Correct.
They're one of the most technologically advanced joints in our body. Like that. My favorite yoga rumor / silly joke is that when your knees are happy, knees are like spouses. When they're happy, so are you.
All right. No worries.
Class.
That actually, I send a silly joke to my grandkids every day, so today's joke was about trees. So I'm going to share it with you.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so what does a tree wear to a swimming pool party? A swimming pool party. to a pool
Oh,
party.
I know.
You got it. You can't
Do
say
you
it.
guys know?
I'm going to say it. I want to say it.
Okay, you say it.
Swimming trunks. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so just lie down, and hopefully that brought a smile to somebody's face. And then plant your feet on the floor, and actually keep your knees bent. Extend your arms out, and let's just do a simple twist over to one side. You can choose the side. And really let ease be into your body. Let your body just feel with every breath that maybe it's getting closer to the ground, but it's okay if it's not. It just is what it is, and it just, you breathe goodness and life and light and love into your body with every breath. We're coming towards the end of the class now, our cool down period. Take a couple more breaths in here. And then come back to center. Just slow and hold it in center for a breath, just to neutralize your body and feel what's going on. And then go on over to the other side. Ease and grace. Just bringing ease and grace into this position. And then when you're ready, come on back to a neutral position and set yourself up in any way for Shavasana. If you're not familiar with Shavasana, your feet are usually wider than your hips, legs are stretched out, arms at your sides, comfortably away from the body, making a little space in your underarms. If you have any lower back issues, it's nice to put something under your knees, like even a simple blanket, like this. And like a little blanket like that, just demonstrating. And then just allow yourself to completely and totally relax. Just like we did in those twists. We just let go. Feeling ease in our bodies. With every breath, sinking maybe a tiny little bit more into the earth. And if you want to let out a sigh, go ahead and do so. Not necessary, of course. Breathe. Breathe in love into every single cell in your body. And as you exhale, breathe that love to the whole world. This whole world. We're learning how connected we all are. One earth, one humanity. So I invite you to stay just where you are for 5-10 more minutes perhaps. But if you would like to end the class right now, then start moving your fingers and your toes, wiggling your hands and feet, maybe stretching over your arms over your head if you'd like, or not if you don't want to. Then bring your knees into your chest and just roll on over to the side of your choice. And take your upper hand, press it into the mat, the floor, the earth, and spiral yourself on up to a comfortable sitting position, connecting your sitting bones to the earth and the crown of your head to the sky, and bringing your hands into prayer pose. Would you mind singing Loka?
Sure.
Okay.
I always just like to end my classes with the sweet sound of Om, which is the first sound of all creation. So we'll start with the sweet sound of Om just to seal these wonderful energies, and then I'll finish with that verse. So everybody, nestle your thumbs into your sternum, draw a nice big breath in, grow your spine nice and tall. And free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions in our own lives contribute to that happiness and freedom for all. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace Peace Peace. Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.
Love you.
Lots and lots of love.
Love y'all to the moon and back.